Now our bans out thus far are Morgana, Galio, and Karma taken out by Gingy. These are good bans. I like these bans. Galio has not really been prioritized, neither has Karma by Team Ethereal, but those are good picks, and they've shown quite a bit of strength here in the tournament series for the past few weeks. So I think these are bans that teams can slip in every once in a while, but as of right now, it might not be as researched as some would assume coming out from Spook Squad. Well, it could be more researched, but too researched, if you know what I mean. In terms of research strictly to Team Ethereal, these guys don't tend to play those champions minus the Morgana. And then from Team Ethereal, standard bans from them, Xerath, Lux, and LeBlanc. Gingy, he's going to take that first pick, Etrl. This is a really good pick for him because Etrl is a very solid pick earlier on in the pick and ban phase. The reason I say that is because he's very diverse in his build as well as his play style. He fits with whatever style of team composition you bring, and the fact that he can build either AP or AD really helps him kind of mold into whatever your team composition is trying to achieve. You know, from here you can build a nuking style squad, you can build a pick, you can build a shoving squad, you can build you can build so many different things with an Etrl inside, and picking him first allows you to have so many diverse or so much diversity to your next 3 champion selections. It's very, very important. Now, as you can see, we have Ezreal's solo chart up right now, and we're going to get those next 2 lock-ins up on the chart as soon as possible. We have Diamond Spider. He's taking his Karthus right off the bat. This is one that we haven't seen him play before, but I'm glad he's taking pocket picks here in this match. Exile Senpai, he's also taking the Syndra. Now, keep in mind, you guys, this is 2 APs, and this is really great. This is a really great situation for Spook Squad to be in, because now with this diversity, with this kind of ability to pick whatever it is that they need with these 3 picks, they know that it's going to be a heavy AP squad coming out from Team Ethereal, so they can build against that. And I like these 2 picks that they brought in thus far. You have Dope and Tovi 4v4, both mobile champions who are going to really be able to take advantage of the immobility, you could say the... Is it immobility? The lack of mobility coming out from the 2 first champions on Team Ethereal. You guys, let me know in chat if immobility is a word. Unmobility? I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Somebody bring up that dictionary, a thesaurus or something. Help me out. Next 2 lock-ins, so the final 2 for Team Ethereal are gonna be Scion from Moodsea and Optimus Knight. Taking his Lucian. Let me get the rest of these picks in real quick. Lucy, and then we had Y did lock in his Hecarim as the last pick. There we go. So this is going to be our chart all finished out here, you guys. My fingers just did not want to type here. And with these charts all finished out, you can see that red team are taking themselves a really bottom side heavy chart. That's Ethereal wanting to go for something that's a little bit more aggressive, yet with still the utility they need in order to defend themselves. I like this pickup here from Ethereal. This is a big change from what we usually see from Team Ethereal in their style of play. They usually want to take an aggressive team. They almost always want to take an aggressive team. They want to take a bullying type squad that doesn't necessarily focus on any sort of specific wave clear or any sort of specific form of siege or form of shove, but they always get themselves such a big early lead that they're able to hold on to that initial damage onto the waves. They're always able to get the first bit of damage onto those enemy minions and ensure that their waves are actually shoved into the enemy towers. Now, here, this is a different style of composition. This is a composition that can really adapt more in a defensive or an offensive position because they do have good crowd control coming out from Mucha the Bear and Exile Senpai. Both defensive crowd control, by the way, but also long-range crowd control, which can be used offensively as well. So not only here that they have great wave clear, they're definitely going to be able to defend and ensure that Spook Squad are not able to siege on their tower for very long, if at all. But they also have some champions that have long range and long enough range spells to actually take advantage of an offensive situation, which is good for them. And then we have Y did taking his Hecarim as the last pick for Spook Squad. This is one that's kind of odd to me. Like I said, these guys really want to be identified as a non-meta squad, but I don't necessarily mean that you should take the Hecarim here in the Howling Abyss. I have no idea whether or not Hecarim is a champion that can bring the strength here. All I know is that on our champion tier list, the way he's rated based on his kit, he isn't necessarily the strongest champion. That's one of the factors contributing to this lower end tier 2 squad that's coming out here from Spook Squad. Now, on the other hand, Ethereal have brought out something that's not very common to them either, with a low composition score as well. So both comp scores looking just about the same. And in terms of just sheer strength on this map, I'm going to have to give it over to Spook Squad from the champion selection. The reason I say that is because they have the Callista, who's shown a lot of strength here recently, plus the mobility on her is going to be excellent. 3 extremely mobile champions, Callista, Etrl, and Nidalee coming out from Spook Squad, really going to be able to punish out the Karthus and the Syndra especially. And then with why did that added form of engage, it's really going to allow for them to capitalize on specific situations. With blue team not having a big engager, say they took somebody else who, like a supporty-esque champion where you have like a Nami or somebody who can disengage rather than engage, they would be most likely just using their mobility spells or their mobility abilities to, you know, just willy-nilly, just all around the place. They would just be using them whenever they saw fit. Whereas here, when they have one true form of engage coming out with the Hecarim ultimate, they're going to actually have something to capitalize on. They will know that they need to hold on to those mobility spells, you know, position themselves correctly to actually capitalize on one single event throughout this match and in the team fights. That's something that's very important, and these guys have always shown a lot of synergy with each other. I think that, you know, that not quite as much as some of the other teams like Team Villain and Team AMAM, who have been together for so long, but these guys have really been coming together as a squad, and I think they really can take advantage of this composition that they've built here. And this is one of the better ones that I've seen them build in the entirety of the tournament series, as a matter of fact. So I'm very excited to see this match, and we are getting into our loading screen right now. We're about to get into our first match of the day. Immobile is a word. Okay, good. Immobile. Huh. I don't know why. It just doesn't sound right when it comes off of my tongue. Maybe it's because I have a little bit of a stuffy nose. Unmobile is not a word. Immobility is also a word. Wow, you guys are really coming through in the clutch for me. Thanks, Thesaurus, a.k.a. Bandy. My Twitch Thesaurus. All right, you guys, next thing we're going to be taking a look at is our skin matchup. We have Leopard Nidalee, Debonair Etrl, Arcade Hecarim, Phantom Karthus, Atlantean Syndra, Atelian Syndra, Warmonger Scion, and Hired Gun Lucian. Oh my god, this is a hard one. We have 7 out of 8 skins in this match. I like the Atlantean Syndra because it's a skin that really hits close to home for me, if you know what I mean. Actually, you guys probably don't know what I mean, but I'm not going to give any more information than that. You guys can take that information and derive what you wish from it. But Atlantean Syndra is a skin that I really, really like. But the Arcade Hecarim, in terms of looks, really takes the cake for me here, in my opinion. So right now it's between the Atlantean Syndra, the Phantom Karthus, because that's kind of a rare skin, and the Arcade Hecarim. At this point, we'll just have to see how the players play, and let me know in Twitch chat if you guys have any requests as to which skin you believe is the best. Alright, you guys, this is the Draft Labs Tournament Series. The first match of the day between Spook Squad and Team Ethereal. Team Ethereal gotten themselves a nice little early bush control, as they usually do. Gingy, he's going to almost face check this one. Thank goodness he has that pounce available to him, is going to be able to get out. Now, that's not the worst idea for him to do. His team wasn't very close behind, but he was, in fact, able to utilize that Nidalee mobility and actually get away from all 4 members of Team Ethereal almost unscathed there. Let's go. Let's go. Yeah, I'm stoked. This is going to be a really good match, you guys. And once again, I'm glad that Team Ethereal are taking themselves kind of a different style of composition here. This is one that they've most likely been discussing recently. They've trying to theory craft and build something that's really going to come out and make some exciting gameplay for us. So I'm very stoked to see how they end up playing this one out. Now, Ethereal have no choice here but to really concede this early game. They have some great wave clear, but in terms of just damage, they're going to have to stay behind. They might be able to shove in, but in terms of being able to move far forward, you know, able to get any sort of siege down, it's going to be very dangerous for them against this Nidalee and Etrl, Callista as well, but mostly Nidalee and Etrl. So I think that what we're seeing right now, where Team Ethereal, they have the wave clear advantage, they're able to get those minions underneath the enemy turret, is going to stay, but they're never really going to be able to move forward and make advantage of it, or take advantage of it rather, like they usually do. That's the difference in this squad. Not quite as bully-esque of a squad as we usually see from these guys. You can see Moose the Bear has already taken a good bit of damage. Nidalee's struck him a few times, same as Etrl has struck him a few times with those Qs as well. So the Q's really coming out strong for Spook Squad. Dope. He actually is forced to Arcane Shift forward away from that slow, and he ends up taking a little bit of guaranteed damage, but not quite enough to be to stick here. You still have OHN Gingy with the Nidalee heals, might be able to get him back up to snuff. Muchi the Bear utilizing that Scion Wave Clear, which is so incredible on this map, man. He is truly an excellent pick after his remake for this game type, and he has come out very strong in a lot of matches for us. Now here's finally a small scenario for Team Ethereal to go forward and throw down some siege, but you can see they're a little bit too worried about it. Too immobile right now, just do not have what they need in order to, in order to truly get this tower down early and take that kind of early game lead that they usually like to get. And right now, it's just a defending game. I think that it's just a defending game for Spook Squad, and they're put into kind of a tough position. Usually when you're defending, you really want to have some wave clear. You really want to have something that can defend your tower. Whereas here, all they have is individual poke spells, individual long-range, high-damage spells. And they're going to be forced to play in a way that zones out the enemy team using those individual poke-in spells rather than simply clearing out the waves and forcing the enemy team to kind of back off because they would have to take tower hits. So as of right now, we have a squad that can a squad that can punish the siege, and a squad that doesn't want to siege because they know the punishment is coming. And that being said, Spook Squad are most likely going to have to, put a lot into actually clearing out those waves. So one little window of opportunity for Team Ethereal to take here is if they see too many members of Spook Squad going in and casting too many of their spells, using too many resources just to take out those minion waves, that might be the opportunity for them to get the jump or something like that. We'll just have to see how it ends up playing out. This is very interesting. Two styles of compositions that we haven't really seen that many times before. Nihane, let me know if I'm pronouncing it correctly or incorrectly. Thank you for tuning in. 4v4 is because it makes things less hectic and puts more pressure on players to build good team compositions rather than simply having one or two of every character role in the match. So if you want to take a tank, you have to be giving up your support. Or if you want to take a support with a tank, you have to be giving up one of your pokers. It's something that we developed for quite some time here, and it's been working out really well for us. Game's going pretty slow so far. Dope, he's actually going to take him really low here. Take some some solo Qs, from Diamond Spider there. Gets him down fairly low, but there was trading going on. Diamond Spider ended up going low as well. And considering the fact that Ethereal are continuously shoving forward, yet still evenly trading out with blue team, maybe not even being even here. It's just about the same at this point, but they were going slightly in favor of Ethereal, but with those Nidalee heals, things have been coming out even after the long run. Dope, more aggressive movements from him. This is their sub. He ends up giving up the first blood. Too aggressive there. Really underestimated the damage that was coming out from these members. This is level 6. This is that slight power plateau that comes at level 6, and that aggressive motion right before they got level 6 as well was not a good decision from him, considering now they all have those 6s, whereas Team Spook Squad do not have any, and this is really going to force Spook Squad back into a defensive position where they have to respect. They got to respect the level 6s. That being said, as well, OGN Dope goes down right before his level 6 comes, and now it's delayed. He's going to have to come back and wait for one more wave to get cleared out. So if Ethereal want to make a big move, they need to make it right now before Dope comes out. Well, there's his level 6, but they are going to make that move. Mucha the Bear, he's tower diving, but he's just going right past. I'm not sure if he didn't know how to cancel that one out, but he's just going right past the towers. This is the third time this has happened here. Now, why did he moves back, gets the Ignite of Diamond Spider. He's most likely going to survive, but there has been one member of Spook Squad already falling. Lucian taking down Nidalee here. Toby, he ends up going backwards just to try to take out Mucha the Bear to make sure he isn't going to get that execution. He doesn't end up doing so, and Diamond Spider unable to follow with the ulti as well. Why did and Toby 4v4 both left extremely low throughout that fight. I'm very surprised to see what Mucha the Bear did there. I'm not sure what his strategy was. It's safe to assume, best Scion ult NA for sure, it's safe to assume that he did it on purpose, And my assumption that he didn't know how to cancel it was, I'm going to guarantee that's not the case. He definitely knew how to cancel it, but he was looking for a suicide most likely, and he was possibly looking to bait someone away from Spook Squad back into trying to get the kill from him, and he did it successfully, and his team still ended up trading evenly there. But I think that if Toby 4v4 had stayed forward and ensured that the fight against the remaining members of Team Ethereal was a 4 versus 3, they easily could have given Scion up that suicide, because a suicide from full health is not worth being a suicide at all, in my opinion. Now, Sergeant Pepper, I see your message. I'm going to get into that one after this game is over. It's a long message. I like to go over those when the game's over, but I hope you understand that I can't do it right now. Dope, nice dodge there. Very quick. Quick on the fingers. Spook Squad doing a really good job of defending here, and I don't think it's necessarily all on them to be great defenders. I think that Team Ethereal are really lacking in the aggression at this point. You know, Team Ethereal, they're a squad that has never lacked on the aggression before with it, and it's a little bit surprising from me. But as you can see, their champions are not quite fit for it, so it might be the champion selection that they took here that's making them not take this early lead in the way that they usually do, and they're really having to kind of let this game extend out into the middle game before they're trying to make any big moves. Optimus Knight, there's the ulti. He's just trying to get some damage down into that bottleneck. He does a pretty good job. Ends up getting Gingy down fairly low, but not quite low enough to execute. And Team Amam still not quite able to make things happen. Big poke combo on Exile Senpai. He's still unable to get any kills on that Syndra. Now, once again, immobility coming out from Team Ethereal is taken away from their ability to tower dive here as well. It's not like they can run underneath the tower and then run back out against a squad with so much mobility as what Spook Squad have. They really have to respect the tower damage in this specific case, and it's losing them this early, not necessarily losing them, but it's not letting them get anything out of this early game. We could easily see an ace come out here from Spook Squad soon and have them even up the game right off the bat in just one team fight. No-H-N Jope, there's a Jope. There's an ultimate, Jesus, my mouth does not work today. He throws down the ulti just to get Exile Senpai low, wasn't quite able to connect. Exile Senpai also being right next to that relic. Gets himself back up to respectable health. The early Karthus ultimate, we can expect something big to happen here soon. He wants to whittle the enemy members down and make sure that that damage is sped really far. Imagine if he had used that ultimate after a team fight when there was only 2 members of Team Spook Squad left available. He only would have had 2 hits of that damage worth going down onto the enemy team, whereas now if he uses it early before the team fight even starts, not only will he not have to delay himself throughout the team fight to make that long cast, but he will also be able to spread that damage as far as it can go. That's damage maximization coming out from Diamond Spider. More nice spears coming out. Toby, he throws in Why Did goes forward. Etrl picks up the first kill. Now Diamond Spider, he's moving forward, but he's definitely going to get punished here. That's a double kill for Spook Squad thus far, and Why Did went a little bit too far. He might end up getting taken down here. That is going to be the case, but it's only a 2 for 3 so far in favor of Spook Squad. That was a fight that kind of went crazy. I wanted to follow Hecarim with my eyes, so we're going to watch that one again. It was initiated by Toby 4v4, and Team Ethereal really should have seen this coming. He pulls in the Hecarim fairly early. Let's see, he's about to pull him in right now. He pulls in the Hecarim early as Exile Senpai is too far forward. This was a good play from them, and then Why Did moves forward through the Syndra just to get back onto the side. Ends up taking him out very quickly. He does die to that passive, but it's not a bad trade considering that he's going to be able to go back and get himself some money as well. Lucian having picked up 1 kill so far onto Spook Squad, then makes it for a 2 for 3 trade. Well played here by Spook Squad, able to get themselves out in a victorious trade, even with all of this nonsense going on throughout the match where they've just been consistently shoved into their turret, but Ethereal have never really been able to make anything of it. Now, Optimus Knight, I don't see him really being able to take this tower down. I mean, honestly, he may be able to. Lucian is a champion that really thrives on quick little sieges, and he had a couple opportunities there for it, but once again, you got to respect the mobility coming out from this squad. Are they going to try to fight this one out? This could be a double kill here from Optimus Knight. They're getting a lot of damage down. They pop heals, and they get the kill. Lucian down. That's a delayed 4 for 2 trade here in favor of Team Ethereal. Make that 4 for 3 as Toby 4v4 ends up getting caught out a little bit too far forward. He does end up getting stunned out there and then caught by Mutsu the Bear, who positioned himself beautifully to throw that minion. Shout that minion at him. Now Scion 2-2-2, 3-1-0 on the Lucian as well. So Lucian and Scion getting pretty much the bulk of the gold here for Ethereal. This is not usually what ends up happening. It's usually Diamond Spider who gets most of that gold. Now he's only 0-2-2. That's not necessarily the best place you want a Karthus to be in. Ethereal not really showing the synergy that we usually see from these guys. Karthus, you would expect Ethereal to really give Karthus that gold in this situation. Now, as that first tower ends up falling, we're looking at 6-5 now in kills in favor of Spook Squad, as a matter of fact, but they're still being shoved back. I think the later this game goes, the more opportunities they're going to have to bring things back into their favor. And the less opportunities Ethereal are going to have to really make things happen out of the turrets, because no matter what duration it is, no matter what time it is during the game, Team Ethereal are always going to have to respect the mobility from Spook Squad in this game. Spook Squad, if they want to make big things happen, they got to make it happen fast. Nice bit of damage from Dope. He just out-trades all 4 members of Team Ethereal, and they're looking to make a push forward. Why did? He has the ulti. Can he pop it here? He needs to isolate 1 member of Team Ethereal, and that most likely should be Optimus Knight, in my opinion. Optimus Knight has the most gold at this point, has the most items, and is most likely going to be the biggest threat. Plus, he's the most mobile member coming out, minus the Scion Ultimate, the most, immediately mobile member coming out from Team Ethereal. So he's my focus, in my opinion, but if Wydid isn't confident enough to actually get Optimus Knight, then there's 2 easy targets in Diamond Spider and Exile Senpai on those unmobile champions. JK, immobile. I knew we were going to see an engage here from Mucha the Bear. Spook Squad were just all caught out and separated there. They weren't quite able to make any big things happen, and then ended up being punished as they pushed too far forward. Easy set of kills here for both squads. Hecarim is able to pick himself up one onto Syndra there in a 1-for-1 trade, but I don't necessarily see this being in favor of either squad, or it's not a 1-for-1 trade, a 2-for-1 trade rather. I don't see this being in favor of either squad at this point. A little bit extra gold going to Ethereal, but with 1 member down, they still most likely won't be able to make anything big happen on this turret, especially without the disengage coming from Syndra. Syndra is a big form of their safety when moving forward. Nice! Possibly be a kill here for Gingy. That is going to be the case. Gets that long-range pounce forward. Will end up getting taken down, so that was kind of a 1 for trade, if you know what I mean. Just a suicide just to get that gold and get that reset on the health as well. Well played, because it wasn't a crucial time in the match. It was a perfectly fine time to go ahead and go in, snag yourself a kill, and then get out. But Diamond Spider falling to the mobility. Etrl ends up going down as well to Mucha the Bear, who's built himself a decent bit of damage here. He's going for the AP-oriented Scion build, and he ends up getting taken down as well. A lot of kills going down in this game thus far. 14 minutes in, 19 kills, 10-9. And Team Ethereal have been able to keep it even since that first team fight. Why did? He's too far forward. Exile Senpai. Easy kill for him with the ultimate. Toby 4v4. Can he 1v1 this out? Is simply go to force Exile Senpai's flash and get out of there alive. With Exile Senpai low and Gingy so healthy, it might be a good scenario here for Spook Squad to make something back, to bring something back in this match. There's the ultimate from Scion. He's looking to make a long-range one. Will he catch out anybody? He doesn't. Toby 4v4 is forced to zone himself back underneath back in the direction of Team Ethereal. Well placed by Mucha the Bear, and they end up picking up that kill as well. Now, will Ethereal be able to take advantage of that 1 kill? Can they make a 4 versus 3 happen? Can they make a 4 versus 3 siege happen here? I don't know. It's tough to say. I think it would depend on which champions are down. If it was Etrl down, then I think that I don't think they'd be able to make big things happen. It was Callista, no. I think they really have to take down Gingy. They got to take down the Nidalee first, and then they might be able to make something happen in a 4 versus 3. But as of right now, things aren't going anywhere in a 4 versus 4. Especially with ultimates down from Team Ethereal. The only ulti available for them is Exile Senpai on the Syndra. All 4 ultimates available, as a matter of fact, for Spook Squad in this case. Beast Killer, what's up, bro? Nice to have you back. Been a long time. Stick around. We have Spook Squad versus Team Ethereal. Ethereal going with a very different different squad, a very different composition style this match than they ever have before here in the tournament series, and it hasn't been working out well for them so far. They've got themselves a lead, which is not too surprising because they're all strong players, but in terms of really securing themselves the match, they haven't done much. Second turret still yet to fall, 16 minutes into the match. at this point in the game, super minions are not really going to be an issue. Even if that inhibitor falls, there's still going to be a chance for Spook Squad to bring this one back. And as they transfer over into this kind of this later mid-game laning phase with that one tower, there's just like kind of a giant lane there. Wow, nice snipe from Gingy, instant aggression from Wydid as well. This is a great opportunity for Spook Squad to move forward and capitalize on their mobility. Diamond Spider, he also flashed into the back lines, trying to make something happen individually, wasn't able to do so. He just ended up getting dropped there. Now 2 down for Ethereal, and this is Spook Squad's opportunity to bring this game back. Ooh, wow, a lot of damage from Moochie the Bear as well on that ultimate. He spreads it really well, but still too much mobility coming out from Spook Squad. There isn't really much capitalization from that ultimate and from that damage. He also gets dropped a little bit too quickly. But what I can say is it was good disruption here. Optimus Knight also forced a flash after trying to disrupt. This is exactly what Ethereal are doing right now. There's the Karthus ultimate, double kill for him, almost a triple, and this is Optimus Knight's time to shine. He might be able to 1v2 this one, but Hecarim moves forward and snags himself an easy kill. I'm really surprised how much damage Wydid is actually doing on this Hecarim right now, considering the fact that he's going for a full tanky build. He's got a Spectre's Cowl and a Randuin's Omen in combination with some Merc Treads. That's not much damage in that kit, yet he's still able to pick himself up easy kills on 300, 400 health Optimus Knight. Interesting things to see. But with that great bit of disruption, Ethereal have completely negated Spook Squad's ability to actually take that first tower. They figured, we have the ability to go all in right now. I'm Scion, I might as well just do it. I'll be able to disrupt them for quite some time, and buy my team some time to get back into this fight. And it's very important for them to have done. Spook Squad need to come back with a big fight like right now, and they want to make sure that they have these death timers stuttered and are utilizing the big distance that Team Ethereal have to run in order to get back to this tower, if they really want to be able to make that big push, because that's going to happen over and over again. And that, once again, is a different style of play. That is something that might have been theory crafted by Ethereal in the pregame before they developed this composition, saying that, well, not only do we have the wave clear to defend, but in the later game we also have the all-ins to defend. We can also just, slide forward with the Scion. We have the AP Scion. He can move forward, really zone everybody out, and utilize that big burst damage that he's going to bring in, plus the crowd control, to just make sure that we buy time for the teammates to get back. Now, that's working out right now because the death timers aren't too long, but in 5 minutes, if we get to that 23-minute game, if we get to that 24-minute game, I really think that Team Spook Squad are going to be able to come out on top here, because Wydid just going to get tankier and tankier and tankier, and if he's moving forward and looking for heavy engages, his team is going to be able to capitalize. We haven't seen many Nidalee Spears hitting in the last few seconds, or last minute, really. That's because Gingy has been left so low, been forced to go for those max range spears rather than anything shorter than that. And it's really left Ethereal safe. I mean, they're taking a decent bit of damage here, but what I can tell you is that it's not nearly as much as they were taking in the earlier laning phases of this match. And as a matter of fact, they might even be winning out the poke game. You can see that Diamond Spider, he really wants to turn up the aggression here on his Karthus, and he's doing a decent job, but he's never really able to go that far forward. Ethereal never really allowing the minions to get past these first turret remains. It's not a surprising thing. This is these guys going kind of back into their old style of play. They have a lead, they want to hold on to it, and they want to take advantage of it. There's the ultimate from Muti. Wydid body blocks that one. He might end up getting taken down here. He actually flashes and then gets ultied by Callista. That's a save on his part, but he's got very little health here. Very, very little health, and he's not going to be able to do much in this match. You can see how small the health bars are coming out from Spook Squad at this point. Toby and Gingy really the only two that are left in fighting capacity, but Gingy has no mana. This is a tough situation coming out for Spook Squad, but at least Moochie the Bear doesn't have his ultimate. Gingy gets stunned out, isn't quite able to snag that kill, but Moochie the Bear does end up falling to Toby. Toby then going down to Diamond Spider, who turns up the aggression right as soon as he tees Toby going forward. Wydid actually able to move forward and get himself a kill there onto, who did he kill? Diamond Spider, as a matter of fact, but then Ethereal able to follow back up and snag themselves as an ace. The two high health members of Spook Squad ended up falling first there, which is very unfortunate because they left the other two in a position where they had to move forward. They had to sacrifice themselves. If anything, it should have been the two low health members going down first and just trying to get off whatever they could so that the two heavier members can capitalize onto whatever damage they were able to put down. But at this point, that wasn't the case, and that's much easier said than done. So Ethereal come out on top in that team fight, even under the tower, and they're going to be looking to push out this inhibitor. Gingy flash onto Exile Senpai. Exile Senpai returns with an ultimate, able to snag that kill. Now Toby 4v4 in a 1v1 versus Optimus Knight. Should be able to take this one. Might be able to take this 1v2 here. Is he going to move forward and try to take on Exile Senpai? It's a definite possibility, but just going to sustain up off these minions. Mooch of the Bear, he's back right away. He wants to get this fight rolling, but Toby 4v4 should be playing more aggressive. This is a nice position for a Kalista to be in. Really good items coming out, 7, 5, and 5. You know, I don't want to say fed, but definitely very not hungry, you could say. This is the time where Kalista could come out and probably 1v3 the enemy members, but Toby 4v4 maybe not quite confident enough in the Kalista play or in the mechanical skill of himself to move forward and try that out on Team Ethereal. It would be a risk, but I think it's something that would be worth it. But now Y did finally, he's moving forward. He's looking to make an engage. He jumps onto Exile Senpai, ends up pushing him backwards. We need to see more mobility coming out from the remaining members of Spook Squad. There's a flash forward from Dope. He just barely gets that kill. It's gonna be 1-for-1 so far as Diamond Spider snags that kill, but now Diamond Spider's left so low. This is a great situation for Y did, and that was a decent flash coming out from from Dope as well. Now Y did, he ends up getting ultied back into the backlines, takes out Karthus, but Kalista falls shortly after. Now Optimus Knight, an OHN Gingy, and Moochie the Bear are left in a 2 versus 1 situation. Will Gingy pick anything up? No, not quite enough. Moochie the Bear, he has the shield, and Optimus Knight has the dodges. Another ace here, a 2-for-4 in favor of Team Ethereal. That was a great team fight, and I want to see the second part of it. After Toby 4v4 ends up ulting Y did. This was a really good time to ult because he throws it down right as soon as Diamond Spider thinks maybe I can move forward and get something happen. There's the forward motion from Diamond Spider, and then the ulti from Toby 4v4. He runs right back in. The unfortunate part is that he took too much damage. I don't think it was necessary for him to do that, considering the mobility of Hecarim and his ability to kind of jump onto enemy players from a short range. He didn't really have to throw Y did that far in order to get that kill. So he probably could have stayed back in a little bit safer situation. You can see he gets taken out. Now Gingy's forced to move forward. Optimus Knight able to dodge out, and now Gingy not going to be able to 1v2 this fight here. So well played by all members in that fight, as a matter of fact. It was really on Toby 4v4's shoulders there. He made a great decision to pop that ultimate when he did, but didn't make the best decision to actually move forward with it. I think that it could have been, it would have been really easy for YD to get that kill no matter what, even if he had stayed back and stayed safe. It was just all about repositioning the Hecarim. It wasn't all about throwing the Hecarim onto the Diamond Spider for sure. You know, it wasn't about just, we got to get this Hecarim onto him as soon as possible. It was just about Hecarim, you need to be in a different position. Now Optimus Knight snagging a kill onto OHN Jope, who just goes in for something similar to what we've seen from Ethereal throughout this match, where he just wants to disrupt, but he isn't quite able to do it. Now Toby 4v4, this is that scenario he wants to be in. Picks up 1 kill, might be 2 here. It isn't, as Hecarim actually snags that one. Toby 4v4 really should have gotten that gold, and that is not something that I would expect to see too often here, is that Hecarim is able to steal kills from his carry. That's not something I would expect, and that's not something I would want to see either. Little mistake coming out from Y did. Little bit of greed, you could say. Nice flash from Toby 4v4. He dodges the stun. They actually going to pick up 2 kills there for 1, as he ends up falling to the Syndra ultimate, I believe, but Nidalee and Kalista, Nidalee and Y did on his Hecarim able to clean up the remaining members of Team Ethereal, and another victorious team fight now in favor of Spook Squad. They really wanted to bring this game back, you guys. Their first siege opportunity pretty much throughout the entire game, and they still aren't going to be able to make too much happen because there's the all-in from Mooch of the Bear. Can he snag a kill onto Dope? He does. Dope is down. Now Y did. Left so far behind and slowed that he's unable to really make much happen. Nice ultimate from Optimus Knight as well. Gingy making decent dodges, but still not able to capitalize and unable to get back to safety. It was just so unfortunate that these 2 members of Team Ethereal, even though we are into this late game, got killed so early in that last team fight that they were able to make it back and defend. Another one of the bonuses of having the Scion on your squad is that he's able to ultimate from so far away and just get back into the fight and just make sure that the enemy team is not able to siege on your tower simply by getting in their face and throwing down as much crowd control on them as you possibly can. Well played by Mooch of the Bear in every aspect of the defensive term here, or in the defensive game, excuse me. And once again, this is not something that we've seen from Ethereal before. This is a playstyle that these guys do not usually bring in, and they're adapting to that scenario really well. This could easily be a team composition that they built for themselves, thinking, okay, we need to practice a defensive style of team comp. We need to practice a team composition where we can kind of give away that early lead, yet still come out on top in terms of the game. Now, they haven't done that completely, because Spook Squad weren't quite able to take that early lead from them, so they figured we might as well just hold on to it from here. But in terms of every time that there has been some sort of siege opportunity coming out from Spook Squad, they've played it extremely well, right on the dot. And with Karthus' global ult, it all applies here. You have the Scion long range engage, and then if Karthus just spawns and needs to get some damage down just to zone out the members, if Scion's on top of him, he can just throw down that ultimate from anywhere and put on some even more pressure onto the enemy squad to skirmish out the Scion. There's an engage from Why Did. He jumps onto Optimus Knight. Optimus Knight forced to heal. Ends up getting snagged by the Etrl ultimate. Does Why Did have enough damage? Not quite enough here. 3 kills right off the bat as Mooch the Bear ends up falling here. Why Did? He's the only one left standing in the midst of the fight and is not healthy. Gingy able to actually move in the backlines to snag another kill, and that was a crazy team fight. We had 3 kills going up at the exact same time. I just want to watch that one as quickly as possible. A really long-range engage coming out from Why Did, but this is one of the benefits of him taking this tanky build. You can see him moving on to Optimus Knight. He's able to stick to Optimus Knight and force so much out of him. He gets Diamond Spider isolated as well. This is such a good scenario here for Spook Squad. And the reason I say this is because Why Did, he engages from the center. Then he decides to push Diamond Spider forward while still with the intentions of still prioritizing Optimus Knight as his target. So Optimus Knight, he gets him low, then isolates Diamond Spider to make sure the remaining members of his team can follow up. Optimus Knight's forced out of the heal. I believe maybe even 2 heals were popped here. No, it was just his. And then Why Did sticks to him, forcing him back as far as possible, making sure that he's not able to jump forward and jump onto one of his members. Now it's just up to the remaining members of Team Spook Squad to clean up on this fight. Why Did a really great job there. You can see how much Diamond Spider is forced out of there early as well. Now, he's able to actually move forward and get a good bit of damage off because Mooch the Bear makes a good decision to move forward and zone out the remaining members. There's the ultimate from Mootsie. I think he gets this ultimate. Yeah, there's that big burst of damage there. He falls. Ezreal ends up falling to Exile Senpai, who I believe ultied him, but Exile actually ends up picking up the kill onto Lucian there as well. Now Diamond Spider and Mootsie, who's in his passive form, are really the only 2 left in the fight. Exile Senpai wants to make his way back, but still isn't quite able to get the damage down onto Why Did. Scion falls. Now Diamond Spider, unable to hit that Q. He's going to end up going down here to Why Did, and Gingy makes a good decision to jump on the back lines and isolate Syndra as well. Great team fight from Spook Squad, and that's the first big victory they've had in quite some time. Question is, what are they going to do from here? Can they siege off of this? They have super minions approaching them, and the death timers are long enough. We're 26 minutes in this game, you guys, and nothing has really been busted open thus far. So these guys really need to get themselves underneath that turret and get to sieging and get to evening up this game as soon as possible. I would expect to see a few suicides coming out here as well. You can see Gingy's going in for the first one. Still, no members from Team Ethereal come up quite yet. They need to get this second tower down. You have Mooch the Bear and Optimus Knight up and available. We can expect the ultimate to come out. I think that Spook Squad could have had more time to siege here. There's a nice ulti from Optimus Knight just to clear out the waves. Clutch on his part, but he takes 2 huge hits of poke there. You know, that situation really could have played out differently for Spook Squad. If they had went directly onto that first tower, they probably could have gotten more damage on the second, but they decided to turn around and go get the relics first. They could have turned around and been getting the relics right now, after the enemy team comes back, whereas now they're moving back and they're looking for second relics, but I'm not sure if they're going to be there and be ready for them. And Ethereal are coming back with a vengeance, I tell you, because they are fairly healthy, minus Optimus Knight, and they all got new items. And they're ready to roll. Mooch the Bear, there's the engage. He isn't getting anyone off of it, ends up just going right past the team again. What's he going to make of this? Why Did? Makes a good decision to go on the backlines, ends up focusing down Optimus Knight, might be able to pick himself up a kill, but he gets slowed. Is there a kill to be had on Lucian here? Diamond Spider also in the backlines. He's not going to be able to make much happen. Mooch the Bear is 1v1ing with Ezreal on the very far backlines, and he ends up actually picking himself up that kill. The double going down in favor of Diamond Spider, I believe. And as he follows up with his own ultimate, he picks himself up another kill. Now it's a 1 versus 2, and that's going to go in favor of Team Spook Squad. My goodness, all these fights are so crazy because they span over such a huge distance. I want to be able to go back and watch how things ended up happening, how things ended up going from the very beginning. And I'm most likely just going to watch this one in regular time, but I want to get a feel for where the kills came from. Why Did? Great engage. Ends up isolating Optimus Knight once again. His focus is right on point, but a clutch slow from Diamond Spider ends up slowing him down and disabling his ability to actually take Optimus Knight down. Toby 4v4, with his excellent mobility, is easily able to follow up on the remaining members. Ezreal falling in the far back lines. OH and Gingy also unable to block the brunt of that Karthus ultimate. W4v4 is Wow, he's sustaining up just enough to allow YD to go in and get that kill. Nice bait from Toby, and good priority there onto the minions as well to make sure that he didn't end up getting taken down by the Lucian. He just consistently kept on auto-attacking those minions, get as much health back as possible. Another big ace here in favor of Spook Squad, and the great thing about this is that they have their tank and their carry left over. Toby 4v4 is going to be able to shred this tower down, while YD is going to be able to tank up the remaining hits if they need them. We have only Exile Senpai up and available, but I don't think he can 1v1 Toby. I don't think he can 1v1 Toby and YD. I don't think that's going to be possible, especially with Toby moving around this much, and this might be another inhibitor. This is going to be even up the game, you guys. Is Toby too far forward? He's looking to make a big thing happen here. He does end up getting Exile Senpai down, but now he's looking to 1v2 Diamond Spider. Can he snag this kill? He's surviving so far, and he's able to sustain it out and make sure he snags that double kill for himself. Well played by them, and this might be a game changer here for Spook Squad, but Mooch the Bear ends up going to get himself a double of the ulti shield combo, and Optimus Knight did a follow-up as well. These two members are always the first to get back. They're always the first to make moves when they get back, and that just comes from them being the two most mobile members of this squad here. So this game has just been busted wide open, you guys. We have an inhibitor down for Spook Squad, and an inhibitor up for Spook Squad, and an inhibitor down for Team Ethereal. Ethereal looking to make this comeback here, as the only remaining member of Spook Squad is Gingy. But Gingy might be able to 1v1 this one out, and has the heals to make sure he stays safe. Conceding that inhibitor was not a bad idea. I think Mooch the Bear, that 1 versus 2 was not worth it, especially dying at this point. We're 30 minutes into this game, you guys. We are way into the hyper late game. We're about to get into the super mega ultra late game, a place we have not been in very much often here in the Draft Labs Tournament Series. Nice capitalization from Gingy. I believe he flashed there. That's actually not the case. He just got the long range pounce, and that's going to be the first kill now in favor of Ethereal. Toby needs to be up front and personal in this fight. Moochie forced out of his ultimate to just go backwards, but he ends up... Toby 4v4 ends up taking too much damage and goes down easily to Exile Senpai. Now Gingy, another damaging member for Spook Squad, is getting taken down by Diamond Spider. There's the Zonias. That's going to keep him safe, and Moochie the Bear picks up a kill there as well. Now it's a 3 versus 1, as YD is the only one left remaining. He should not be able to get out of this one, and this might be game, you guys. That ace right there might be game. I want to go back and determine what it was that made this fight go so heavily in favor of Ethereal after they got such a great pick on Optimus Knight. You can see that Gingy, he moves forward, gets himself a nice long range pounce. Easy stuff here for Nidalee. Takes down Optimus Knight very, very easily, but you can see how much damage Gingy ends up taking afterwards. Exile Senpai, he's also forced out of his Zonias there as well, so he actually is fairly low as he moves back into the fight, and you can see that Toby 4v4 is getting taken low as well. Moochie the Bear, he's forced to move backwards, but there's the ultimate from Exile Senpai, just completely rips Toby apart. He's able to pick up an easy kill there, so now it's 1 for 1 in this team fight. But as Diamond Spire comes back, he just causes a lot of madness out of these backlines. He gets right where he wants to be. He has a low health carry on the enemy team, able to focus him down while the enemy team is not focusing him down. He's amidst the enemy squad, he's not being focused, and he has a strict target to focus himself. A very good play by Diamond Spider, and that's exactly where Karthus wants to be. Follow-up from a heavy damage Scion is easy onto that Etrl, who had already used his Arcane Shift as well, and now it's just cleanup duty for Team Ethereal. Well played by these 3 members. And like I said, this might be the game, you guys. They have to clear through these minions, they have to get back to these towers, and we have 7 seconds left on Toby 4v4, but if Team Ethereal can get themselves another kill here, maybe even another tower, it's going to be a big thing for them. Look at that, they're backing off, though. They're respecting the Callista. Not a bad decision on their part. I think it's possible for them to 3v1 this for sure, but at the same time, I also think it's possible for Callista to win this 1 versus 3. Now all 4 members of Spook Squad back up. Team Ethereal only taking 1 tower off of that big ace. They had 3 members available that just didn't have enough time to siege there. And now they're all low health. Wow, big spear. That one wrapped around the minions. That was incredible. Dope, able to follow up with the snipe as well. That's 1 early kill here in favor of Spook Squad. Diamond Spider's going to fall shortly after. YD is flashing forward and trying to isolate Optimus in the backlines. Scion gets 1 kill. Scion then falls to Nidalee, and the ultimate from Karthus takes a lot of the members from Spook Squad very low. But YD able to get ultied in by 4v4 and snag another kill for himself. And this is another big ace in favor of Spook Squad, and this, once again, could be game, you guys. If they play this one out correctly, it could be game. The situation situation is different here because they already have minions pushing into the enemy tower. For Ethereal, on that last push, they had to get the minions into the enemy base right off the bat. Whereas here, or they had to push to get the minions inside the enemy base. Whereas here, Spook Squad, they already had a super minion available, and they're going to be there. They're going to take the game. My goodness, you guys, that one lasted for a long time, and that was an extremely impressive match from both sides. If I were to break it down, I would say that Team Ethereal took a new form of team comp. They played it well where it needed to be played well, but where it needed to be played really well, they weren't quite able to do it. I don't think they had necessarily taken into account, what would happen if they were able to hold on to a lead throughout the entire early and mid game. They were never specifically able to bring it back, whereas Spook Squad, they were just holding on. They were holding on for dear life that entire time, but eventually, you can see all the items. Eventually, there was a threshold hit in the game where Spook Squad came out and they were like, wait a minute. We're not losing anymore. We're not underpowered anymore because everything's even. We're 30 minutes in this game. Everybody's at 6 items right now. We can team fight this and we can win. They have no power over us, and they were able to actually come out and just kind of, force their way into the enemy base quite a few times here and force their way into the enemy squad in the team fights. did a fantastic job on his Hecarim in this match, isolating Optimus Knight and making sure that he disrupted one of the members, one of the carries from Team Ethereal to ensure that the remaining members of his squad are taking on a 3 versus 3 rather than a 3 versus 4, while did was just easily able to disrupt those members in the backlines. Great job. Now, once again, got to give props to Ethereal. This is a different style of composition, and they played it well where it needed to be played well, but they weren't quite able to really take a hold of the match like they usually do. You could tell they were trying to do it the whole time. They were trying to do it the whole game, just grab the game by the horns as they usually do, but they don't have a composition that was really able to do that. And Spook Squad able to come out and take this game on Ethereal. Very well played by them. And I believe this is one of their, I don't think this isn't their first win. I know this isn't their first win, but this is their first win against one of the higher tier squads here in the Draft Labs Tournament Series. So congratulations to those guys. Very well played, and GG.